In this video, I want to have a look at powers of powers. So this can be a little confusing sometimes when we say it first, but the examples will make it make more sense. So when we have a power raised to another power, we're going to multiply the indices. So we'll write that down. Right, so what that looks like is, for example, if we've got this power here, we've got x to the power of 2, and then that whole thing is to the power of 4. So what we're going to do here is we're going to multiply those two numbers together. So the base number stays the same, it stays as x, and then we're going to multiply these together. So 2 times 4 will give us 8. So if we have a look at another example, we've got m to the power of 5, and then we've got that whole thing to the power of 3. So our base will stay the same, we've got that m, and then we're going to multiply our indices together. We're going to have 5 times 3 is 15. Right. Now in this one, it's a little bit different. We've got 5x to the power of 3, and that whole thing is to the power of 2. So in this case, we've got that 5 in there as well. That 5 needs to be squared. So we're going to write it as 5 to the power of 2, or 5 squared. And then our x, and to figure out the power in the x, we'd have to go 3 times 2, which would give us 6. Now we can simplify that a little bit. That 5 squared, that means 5 times 5. And 5 times 5 is 25. So we'll write it as 25 x to the power of 6. All right, this next one is similar. So we've got 2b to the power of 10, and we've got that whole thing squared. So we're going to have the 2 squared first. And then we're going to have our b, and our b is going to be to the power of 10 times 2, which is 20. And if we simplify that a little bit, 2 squared, squared means times by itself, so that means 2 times 2, which would be 4. So we're going to have an answer of 4b to the power of 20. Right, in this very last example, we've got g to the power of 8 and h to the power of 3, and all of that is to the power of 5. So in that one, that power is going to apply to everything. So we're going to have our g first. So that g to the power of 8, and then that's to the power of 5, so we'll times those together. So 8 times 5 is 40. And then we've got our h. We've got h cubed to the power of 5, so we're going to multiply our powers there. So 3 times 5 is 15. So we'll end up with g to the power of 40, h to the power of 15. So that's a few examples of powers of powers.